We are in some interesting economic times, making it difficult to predict the future. As a result, many multi-unit franchisees are wondering if it is time to hit the gas or brake. In this episode, Michael Einbinder with Einbinder and Dunn and the Rawls Group succession planner, Jeff Bannon, discusses various opportunities at multi-unit franchisees' fingertips to fulfill their long-term business and personal goals.
People sort of retrench a little bit in terms of what they want to do. So people are hoarding cash. People are not building as much. We're not building out as much many stores or businesses as they can. They're slowing down their development processes, and they're also slowing down their acquisitions. I think for some people who are worried about the ability to get money, to get capital, the best thing to do is to hold your cards and just wait and ride it out if you can. For people who want to be a little bit more aggressive and want to take some risk and have a longer view, the thing is to maybe buy things or look for things that you can buy at a price that is a little bit better than it would have been in the past. So there's a lot of different things that people are trying, but I don't think everyone's doing exactly the same thing. There's bargain hunters, and there are people who are just sitting still and waiting for it to subside, or at least to make them feel more comfortable. What we're hearing from the financial perspective is that borrowing costs are up 2 or 3%. How that affects you on an acquisition is significant over the period of a loan, if you think you're actually going to pay out that loan over the original term of the transaction. And maybe it will be that you're going to refinance when the economy gets better, but some people don't want to take that chance. So those people are slowing down, because those people who would have to borrow a lot to make a deal are going to slow down, and that's the best course for them. On the other hand, we have clients who have contacted us and talked to us about acquisitions that we're sitting on a ton of cash. What a great time to make a deal. What a great time to make an acquisition. And for some people who are afraid of staying the course, are concerned about it, maybe it's a good time to sell. So those are some of the things that I see. And I'm not sure how to predict or how to really answer a question about what people can do, because I think everyone takes this a little differently. There's a short-term and a long-term view. There's risk-adverse people who are just going to hold their cards for now. And there are people who want to be more aggressive. And as I said before, have a long-term view of things. And I think they may make different decisions. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I think what you hit on is something I've felt with a lot of clients recently, and that's the sense that is it time to hit the gas or the brake? People at a point in their career saying, what a great opportunity to expand. I've got the cash. Let's invest in the future. Versus those who might have been on the sideline of saying, I've done this a while, and I think I'm good. Is it a good time to take financial independence from the business? Do I sell some of this, and while time is good, am I at the top of this and go forward? But I think from what's most likely going to happen to most businesses that I've working on some strategic planning with several clients, is the idea that at some point there will be a return to normalcy, whatever that is, but a time when margins are tighter, when we're not in a COVID environment. And the question really comes down to how far away have we drifted from our processes? When we were in a normal environment, quote unquote, we did, we checked boxes and did things a certain way. All that got turned on its head. And the question is, how prepared are we for a return to whatever normal was for you? Because a lot of organizations has just simply gotten into bad habits or accepted things that are temporary as the new normal, which is not true. So it is a good time to look at your organization and check practices, and make that decision at this point, whether we are going to hit the gas pedal and go forward and continue to grow, or is it time to tap the brakes because we're starting to move toward an exit strategy?
I agree with that completely. I mean, I think one thing that is clear is that it's always a good time to sort of straighten out your processes, right? So maybe if you're not in this multiple growth phase where you're doing all sorts of things all at once, you have a little time to do that. But we three have had conversations about organizing your documents, getting your documents in order, making sure that everything's the way it's supposed to be set up from a structural standpoint, from a family standpoint for the succession planning work that you guys do, to sort of start those things that you can do if you're not deploying cash to buy more businesses or grow. This is an excellent time to sit still and just get it all straightened out so everybody is in a good position when you return to normal. You keep using the word normal. I have no idea what normal is anymore. The last 2 years has been anything but. And in fact, the last 5 or 7 years has been anything but. I mean, the growth has been enormous. The franchise business has changed considerably in the last 5 to 10 years. I've been doing this a lot longer than that. And I can tell you that, multi-unit operators and multi-concept operators are a much bigger part of this business than they were 10, 12 years ago. Franchisors are more sophisticated than they were 10 years ago. They're platforming and creating opportunities to cross-sell to their existing franchise base. It's a whole different world than it was. So what normal looks like, when we come out of this, hopefully it's a dip. When we come out of it, then I think people are going to return to some sort of plateau, but I don't know what that's going to look like either. I can tell you that, after COVID, not after COVID, I keep saying after COVID, but after people started going back to business, the real estate in New York, which we do a lot of, was changed considerably. There were a lot of empty spaces. And what really surprised me, last summer was that so much of that space had been taken back. People were ready to grow again. And I took a walk down near my office. I'm on Madison Avenue. I walked down Fifth Avenue to Madison Square Park, several blocks. There are about 5 new businesses. People are growing. There's more retail, even though New York is sort of slow to come back to the office, there's more retail. So people do take chances in environments where it's not clear, but what's going to happen next. But I think, Jeff, you're right. I think people need to take a step back in some respects, or if they're taking a step back, this is a good time to straighten out your documentation and what you're doing.
Yeah, and to that point, with the documentation, everything else, if nothing else, it's created a little bit more time for a lot of entrepreneurs who who are in a position to have to wait and see where they otherwise wouldn't have it. And couple that with the fear of death and dying, and of what's been going on around the world. We've certainly seen on our end a huge amount of people and clients stopping to take a moment to say, no, wait a minute, this is really important. And it's always felt important, but this environment, I think, helped create a sense of urgency that says, people started looking around and saying, I don't have this signed, and I don't have this agreement in place. I don't have my wills and trusts up to date. And it really has been a tremendous opportunity for people to sit back and make those important decisions before the what if happens.
I think that's right. We see some growth in that area of our practice, and we've spoken to other people who do trust estate work, and that part, people getting their personal lives in order, their personal documentation in order, is absolutely essential. It always is essential, but now with what's going on in the world, people are really thinking about that more. And I think that really does change how people react to the world around them.
Yeah.
Although there are many unknowns about the future, business succession planning positions you to take advantage of opportunities the marketplace creates. By proactively addressing possible, probable, and potential issues, you create many options at your fingertips. Do you have a question you want to discuss with an expert? Feel free to reach out directly to Michael or Jeff at the email addresses listed on the screen. This is only one out of our 5-episode series focused on succeeding despite economic uncertainties. Continue listening to the series now or come back for more. Each topic featured may want you to learn something new. Succeeding Despite Economic Uncertainties is a part of the Rawls Group's Advancing Your Business, People, and Legacy Conversation series.